Good afternoon, all you wild and weirdos and weirdettes. It's Ron. That's Joseph over there. And this is Wild and Weird Radio Live, coming to you from another dimension, possibly.
Potentially, right?
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
We had a really interesting time. And real quick, before we jump into that, I want to get everybody
welcomed in, because we've got a heck of a show. And we have a new... before we go, I've got the goals set, and we are going to be doing this for a new blessing. Plus, we do have to get ready for this year's meeting. It's going to happen, so we got to get ready for that.
Yeah, it's coming up. Probably going to do it in March.
Welcome in,
March, April. So here we go. We got Gary. We got Bigfoot Project. We've got Brenda Ratliff. We've got Stone Maven, Wolves Den. That's you. Then Donna Ho. And then we've got Beth in the house. We've got Mr. Jordan Booker. We've got, there's Brenda again. Ada Cox is in the house. Old Hippie's here. We've got, who else? Let's see where we're at. Nancy White's up here with us tonight. What's going on, Nancy? Good to see you back.
Good.
Larry Hose. Happy Thursday, everyone. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing good out there. We've got the real Angie. Hello, right after
Angie. Right there. Okay.
We've got Uvaru. What's up? Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. I'll roll that blessing out in just a second. Rachie 0514. What's going on?
Welcome
Good seeing you back. Then we got Julian McGill.
Julian McGill. Is this the first timer?
No, this is Julie. This is Julie.
Okay. That's Julie. All right.
Julie from the Master Naturalist stuff.
Okay. I remember.
Yeah, I think you actually made an award for her not too long ago.
Any first timers, chime in. Let us know where you're from and say hey.
Old Hippie, thank you. Ada Cox, holy cow.
All the owls, all the aliens. Oh my.
Dave Eggleston, thank you. Keeping it free before I'm called away to help mama wrestle a toddler. Oh, I know how that goes.
You've been there.
Yep, I know how that goes. I know all too well. Octopus, what's going on? Jen, what's up? And I think that catches us up here with this. I'm going to throw in, we've got 4 blessings so far. I'm going to give you guys a couple here to get
them a couple, or either a nice big one, whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to do one and a big one.
Give them. And we do have part 2 of that you are working to unlock tonight. Just to let you know. Wait, what? Okay, that works. Make sure that's not a typo, please. Just make sure. I'm pretty sure it's not, but multiple thank yous and blessings.
Nancy White, thank you.
Massive explosions of blessings are going out tonight, everybody.
Yep, we're at 6 already.
I think they want that meeting, Joe.
Yeah, right.
I think they want that. Are you guys really that desperate? You know, we may have to do a flute concert live at the next meeting.
Hey, my new one will be in.
That's what I'm saying.
Saturday or Monday.
What I'm saying, we may have to do that. That could be a thing. There's good acoustics in there. Anyway,
Gary, we're gonna break through the wall here, and before we even get started.
Bedtime stories. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting bedtime story for everybody.
Oh boy!
Now,
well, speaking of where the show's going, I just feel like this is too fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Previously on Wild and Weird Radio.
Well, let's yeah, I think you're spot on with that. And let's take off right where we were last week, because this literally happened in real time on 2/19, because it's right there in the folder. Take this presentation. We'll kick this thing off, because we've got a lot to talk about. So this literally happened last week while we were on here. The whole thing.
Note the time, 15 minutes after we went live.
Yep. It literally was 15 minutes after we went live. We were live while this went down. And we were like, is it real? Yeah, it's real. It's legit. That was the real deal. And for those of you who do not know, and I imagine there are not very many, apparently the White House has, come down and said, yeah, we're behind releasing these files. And it seems to have grown into a even bigger momentum than what we had thought, because we really thought this was just, to confirm what they had said to Representative Burleson about releasing, a little bit of access, letting them get in and see some stuff. And that's not exactly how this is going, right, Joe?
Yeah, it's taken some the turns we almost expected already.
Yeah, it's taken some turns. And here's this was from a journalist who was actually called up 3 days after. I think it was 3 days after this memo went out, and they were contacting people to come to this event where the Secretary of War was going to be. And she managed to get this interview, and this is what you have seen quoted in a few of those articles. This is where it came from.
Days ago, President Trump directed you to begin the process of identifying and releasing the UFO and UAP files. I mean, did you ever think that you would be the Secretary of War in charge of potentially declassifying extraterrestrial life to the American people and the world?
I did not have that on my bingo card at all.
And are you prepared to do that now?
Of course. I mean, we've got our people working on it right now. I don't want to oversell how much time it will take. Right? We're digging in. We're going to be in full compliance with that executive order, eager to provide that for the president. So there'll be more coming on that as far as the process of what we'll do.
And what sort of time frame? Do you have any sense for how long this is going to take?
I don't have a time frame for you yet, but stand by.
Please stand by. Yeah, he said the thing. So that takes us to where we now are. And I'm going to throw up a couple of images here real quick for us, because there's actually still breaking news, like literally today. News is still breaking on this. This really hasn't stopped, to be honest. But one of the more interesting things that just came out was this one from, I think it was MSN who had it, but it was from, is this from the Daily, is this from Daily Mail? Is that where it originated? I think, let me see. Yeah, I believe that was Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, Chris Sharp.
So ex-UFO chief admits mysterious space objects move in ways thought impossible with modern technology.
So if I'm right, this was the second in command from Kirkpatrick, right? That's where this came from.
I think it actually came from before Kirkpatrick.
No,
they're attributing it to Arrow, but like the whole context of all of it doesn't make sense for Arrow, because
but I'm pretty sure this is the guy, because one of the guys interviewed him before this broke and said, it was Corbel, interviewed him and said, this is coming. And they kind of were real quiet about it. And he's like, can't wait to read it. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be it. And it's interesting what he says here. So won't you read some of these quotes for us really quick?
Well, the Pentagon's UFO office former chief has revealed unexplained objects were detected in space, and that some performed maneuvers defying anything in America's known aerospace arsenal. Lieutenant Colonel Tim Phillips, who's also acting director of All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, Arrow, until last April. So he was the interim guy after Kirkpatrick with the new guy.
He was with him.
Yeah. Until last April, told the Daily Mail that while most cases involved objects in the air, some detections extended beyond the atmosphere. Rick Skinner, thank you. Popcorn and liquid refreshment fund for story time. Thank you. Very much appreciated.
There you go.
I would say probably 90% of the cases, if not higher, were always in the air domain, Philip said. Most of these were in the atmosphere where there were things in space. Arrow, a team within the Department of War, is tasked with collecting and investigating UFO cases. Blah, blah, blah. You already know that
You
stuff.
know that. But here's what you don't know.
From a highly qualified observer who witnessed these objects displaying capabilities beyond anything the U.S. government is known to have. Which
now they already said that there was nothing extraordinary about these sightings before, correct?
Yeah.
So now it's wait. So
well, you got to remember who Kirkpatrick was the one saying there was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
So
nothing really exciting. That
let me find you one.
Both of them were solved and easily resolved.
Here's one of your best quotes.
But those few dozen reports kept the experts scratching their heads. We're talking some of the best and brightest in the world could not explain what it is, Philip said. His office was also able to rule out the possibility that the objects belonged to any known U.S. or foreign program.
Now, I want you guys to remember what was just read in this article, okay? Because this is going to come up later in a clip that I'm going to show. And I want you to just keep that in mind, that this has now come out. This is a fresh, I haven't seen this. This is new. It's basically an admission that something very different, very real was there. And it was not foreign adversaries. It was not.
They verified that it wasn't foreign adversaries.
Check this out, though. One of the cases might look familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that? So we were able to conclusively prove it wasn't a known system, either adversary or friendly. Despite the extraordinary nature of some of the sightings, Philip told the Daily Mail that the objects never appeared to pose a direct threat. We never saw any hostile behavior, he said. I couldn't speak to the intent, but we saw them in sensitive locations sometimes. He also noted that some of the objects appeared to actively avoid detection, and we saw their attempt not to be surveyed, and in other cases, they didn't seem to care. In other words, they wanted to be seen sometimes.
Which that's observable that we've actually had.
I think that should be one of the new observables, quite honestly, because, you know, that's a known thing now. That's a pattern that this phenomena takes. It wants to be seen or it doesn't.
Yeah.
You can go out and look for it all you want, but if you're not, you can, it doesn't mean you're going to see it. You know, it kind of chooses at once.
So Gary asked, how heavily will the redactions on those files be? Got any black ink left over, from the other files or released?
Okay.
Well, if you don't have stock in Lexmark, HP, or Canon, now might be a good time to get it.
It's definitely, they're not going to reveal everything. We're going to get to that. We're going to actually have some clips and we're going to be playing that. And you guys, we want your opinions on this, because the title of this show is it says a lot, but if you see when you see this stuff, you're going to kind of understand where it's coming from. And longtime listeners to the show already know that this is not that far outside the box. We've kind of hinted toward this for a while, and now it seems that other journalists and other people out there who are in the know are starting to have these conversations. So, Joe, why don't you take us out there and introduce the show? What this thing's really going to be about?
Well, this show is essentially a response to some of the stuff that we're seeing out there. There's a ton of people who are suddenly curious, anxious. They've either got decisions made up in their mind, or they're completely aloof to this, and this kind of is catching them off guard for some reason, because if you've been out from under a rock since 2017, this has been in the media fairly regularly. But A lot of people want to know everything there is, and they want to know as much as possible. But the reality is, it's going to take a lot of time to process some of this stuff, especially.
It's going to take a lot of hand holding.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of hand holding, especially because there's going to be an absolute bombardment of information. It is. Imagine if you were to take information and load it into the proverbial like bird shot and shoot this out. It is going to, the farther it goes, the wider the spread is going to be, and there's going to be more. I do believe there will be disinformation.
Oh, there'll be disinformation.
But like a game of telephone, the farther down the line that some of this information gets, the more diluted, distorted it'll also become. Yeah. Now, everybody's afraid. We've talked about this before with Put Off, about the possibility that the revelation of the UAP phenomena could very well be foundation shaking for humanity.
Yeah. And that's honestly, that's not a big sell. That's not some drama sell. That's reality. Yeah. That is reality. This thing could be that big, right?
It really could be. And there's possibilities, and we're going to touch some of those possibilities tonight. And so it's important. Our crowd, the folks who are in the chat right now, I don't think you're going to have any issue digesting this stuff.
We got some new people. We got some new people in here. So
we do. Our crowd we're setting a little bit above average right now.
Yeah. So welcome, guys.
So for anybody who's new, this might be a little much to digest. This could be something that you're going to have to sit and maybe listen to once or twice, and then think about it, let it mull over, and then come back to it. It's not going to upset us if when we're looking at the statistics on this episode that we see chunks of it being digested in certain manners, because this topic where we're going tonight could have the ability to take us into some really deep water.
It really could. And, as I said, there's going to be a lot of hand holding. And I think that's a good thing. I think that we can get through all this stuff together. And I, again, am not playing this up. We don't do that here.
Right.
This is a pretty serious, or at least potentially serious topic. And, just reach out to a couple of friends and bring them in with you. And, let's see what we can come up with. But again, we're not asking anyone to believe anything. This isn't about belief. Belief is irrelevant. It's always irrelevant. It doesn't matter. The facts are going to speak for themselves. The data is going to speak for itself. Let it happen. And we're just going to start looking at some of that. So what
they have unlocked.
They unlocked it.
They unlocked it. And
we'll
we have someone from Europe, Martin Wright.
Well,
a little support from a new subscriber. Much appreciated.
Wow.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And to give you, since you're a new subscriber, to give you a little background, everything that we generate here, we turn back around and it's used to keep the studios rolling and to also get more gear for research, to fund the research, because we're not just a podcast. We're actually UFO, high strangeness, Bigfoot researchers. We're in the field. We've been recognized for several years now. We've actually got some accommodations, I guess, make us I guess the craziest,
whatever that's worth.
People.
Yeah, whatever that's worth, right?
Whatever you want
to award.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And here soon, you're going to see part of what all this goes to.
Oh yeah.
Not in part of this episode, but there's an episode of something coming.
And you got
an investigative series called Strange Realities. And you're going to get to see where all of this really goes to and what we use this for.
And you got to see the first episode finally.
I did. And it's really good. And you guys, I think, are going to really like it. Larry, thanks, brother. Keeping it free. Also, all these donations keep everything out from behind a paywall. For anybody who's new or just now hanging out, it keeps it from behind a paywall. There's no Patreon. There's no buy me a coffee. There's none of that stuff. It is all free because of our supporters. And we thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Dark Wolf, Chris, we appreciate you, brother.
And yes, when those go up, they will be in 4K, just to let you know. but yeah, it helps us to do those things, and we thank you so much. Anyway, let's get back to this story, because this is literally history, Joe. We are living in UFO history as far as I'm concerned. This is big. So let me pull up some of these, and I'm going to pull up clip number 1, and you're going to hear, I believe this one was Corbel, and he's been interviewed, and he says a couple of things. Oh,
thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you so much. Let's and who is that?
That is Lit Cross. I'm gonna mess up the
PL1EB.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, so let me pull that video up. And you guys, just if you have questions through this whole thing, please get them in there. We're going to star them, and we'll circle back around. We are not going to ignore you. We will get your questions. I promise you.
Yeah. Godot, you're not the first person that's told me that they're not getting the notifications. Appreciate the heads up on that, though. So yeah, thank you, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you. Ron, go ahead. Here we go, guys. Here we go. You guys take the presentation. We're ready to roll on this. All right, this is Corbel being interviewed, and let me go ahead and play this, and we'll respond.
Let me just go through some basic Q&A with you.
Do you believe aliens exist? One.
Yeah, that's not a matter of belief. It's either true or it's not true. And so I've aimed to find out. You said yourself, you didn't say it in these exact words, but it's statistically improbable to the highest degree that there's not intelligent life that has had more time to develop than us. But the big question that we couldn't ask 10 years ago that you just said is not just do aliens exist? When you look out at the stars and you see, suns with orbiting planets, yeah, of course they do. But you asked the question, are they visiting here? Have they been here? UFOs are real. Sometimes they are occupied. People can handle the truth of that. And this has been a decades-long immaculate deception. And I've been told not to kick the sleeping dog. They're afraid of something about telling the public, your government and mine.
And that's the key to this whole thing. They're afraid of something. Want proof? Let me show you some proof right now. This is literally today. Here's the proof. There's some proof for you.
Trump faces Pentagon revolt as demon fears stall UFO declassification bombshell. Now, this is nothing new.
No,
we have heard this before.
We've heard it before, Lou, right? Lou?
Yeah, well, not just with Lou. We had, after the first briefing that was done several years ago, we had one of the members of Congress that came out, and the first person that was stuck a microphone in his face, he said, took a deep breath and said, lock your doors and lock your windows, people. Yeah, like that's going to do something.
Right. But where they come from this is important. And this has been taken out of context. People need to pay attention to where this is really from. It's right here where the controversy intensified. Can you read that for me, Joe?
The controversy intensified after filmmaker Mark Christopher Lee, known for exploring UFO themes in his film God vs. Aliens, claimed that a Washington source had warned of massive pushback within parts of the administration. According to these claims, some Pentagon figures believe that the UFO phenomena may be linked to extraterrestrials, or may not be linked to extraterrestrials, sorry about that, but to interdimensional entities. For certain religious officials, that interpretation carries darker connotations. It doesn't always carry darker connotations. Like it's interdimensional entities. It could be either or. But anyway, I digress.
But with fears that
the phenomena could be viewed as demonic.
Could be viewed.
Yeah, they're scared of possibilities. Such concerns are said to be particularly sensitive among evangelical communities where concepts such as the rapture and end times prophecy remain influential. The idea that official confirmation of non-human intelligence might intersect with biblical interpretation has reportedly made some officials wary, which, we historically covered this as well. Hal Puthoff was part of a team that went out and they set and made the decision for everyone.
Yeah.
they were not going to disclose the information for fear of public upheaval and destroying society and ripping the very foundations.
Oh yeah, it's just going to just rip the foundations of space and time. And if we find out that we're not alone, here's the problem I have with the demon thing. I'm going to shut it down right now, real quick for you. If you haven't seen some of the stuff in the past, here's the problem with the demon thing. If this were one single thing, if this phenomena was one single thing and attributed only to one factor or entity or group of entities, etc., then you could sell that to me. You could sell that. You could say that. But when you're dealing with multiples, that is a cop-out because they can't all be. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The sheer logic and nature of it says no. That is a cop-out.
This show, by the way, for anybody who's new, we take questions off the floor, and this is one of them. This is a good one.
Go.
Earthman 3. I'm probably butchering your name. You're
Welcome,
new in the chat. We appreciate you hanging out.
Earthman, what's wrong with you? Can't you read that?
Oh, that's right. Earthman 3. It's Earthman. I get it. See, I'm not the guy that when you go on a road trip, you sit and read the license plates, and I can't tell you what they mean. Anyway, if they are the ones who are most likely with hidden knowledge, he mentioned some stuff up thread a minute ago about government officials, people like up in the upper hierarchy, and if they are the ones who are the most likely with hidden knowledge, and they are evil, speaking of some of the people in the hierarchy, does that mean the aliens they are aware of are neutral or evil towards humans? And that's a good question.
Great question, Earthman.
Because this is something that we don't know, and anybody who says otherwise is lying to you, for one. But to add into what he was saying, I assume if the aliens were good, it would be somewhat mimicked by the elite. Yet this does not seem to be the case, and I would agree with you there. But here's where I'm going to inject. This is just opinion. There's a lot of data behind the formation of the opinion, but still just opinion. So take it with a grain of salt.
Let's hear it.
Humans as a whole, I have said this historically, everybody in the chat knows where I'm going, are terrible.
Oh boy.
Humans are terrible. Team Big Rock, all the way.
Yeah, for you folks who don't know, Team Big Rock is Joe's favorite team because it involves a massive asteroid or reset.
Yes.
To right the wrongs of humanity. I am a little more optimistic. I believe that we have a chance to pull ourselves out of the dirt and evolve. But
you guys call me Doomsday.
And then we have Doomsday Dave, who is my go-to for anytime there's something coming to Earth, I can get excited or not.
Whether to destroy us or not.
Right. Okay. Now, anyway, get to this question.
To this question here, like we as entities are really good at tearing stuff up. We're really good at making war being terrible without anybody's help, right? We don't really need much of a nudge to do a bad thing. And if we had this technology, if we had this hidden knowledge, so to speak, first and primary nature for humanity, especially humanity and people who are in power and who are over things, is to try to weaponize it. How can I use this to stay here in my position? How can I use this to remain where I'm at? How can I use this to get more? And it's all based out of greed and out of just the disgusting nature. And
you know what though, Joe? I was thinking about what you're saying. You're right, by the way. Humans do this. We know this, right?
Historically, like we had rocks. The first thing we do with the rocks, what do we do? Smash heads with them.
But here's why we did that. Survival. Because we refused to look in any other direction other than the way that you're talking about. We didn't evolve. We haven't evolved. We're still the same, throwing rocks and sticks. It's just the rocks and sticks are, explosive and nuclear at this point.
Yeah, right. Too Deep Too Much says, I think we need to get the idea of we're alien, or get with the idea, need to need to get the idea of we of aliens and think outside our box. We do need to think outside our box. 100% agree.
You are 100% correct. Maybe
Because-
even the box outside that box.
Yeah, because if we do all this, and part of our MO from day one has been to step away from our belief systems, maintain your belief system. Well, not telling you to cast away religion, not telling you to cast away faith, but take away
You don't have
and
to.
step aside from belief systems when you're investigating these things, so that your belief system does not interfere with the data and doesn't influence the data. And because we think inside of our box so frequently, our box is contaminated with us. And so we create a bias, and it can cause so many issues. And you're exactly right.
Well, here's the other problem with that, my friend. From the research and from the investigator side, we know that some of this phenomena seems to play off of that. So if you go out there and you think, for example, this is this or this is that, well, it might just show up as this or that.
Iski says, well, we know there are different beings. Yeah, we there has to be.
Yeah, we think so too.
We don't know what or who they are, but I suspect that, like humans, their motives and agendas vary from good to evil or evil to good. I agree.
Yes.
That's been a conversation that has been on the table with Ron, Dave, and I so many times.
Yes, absolutely. I can tell you that. Now, let's get back. Is that the questions? Are we good for right now?
Ashley brings in a good point. Humans individually are good.
Ashley.
Humans together are terrible.
Ashley, if you want to join the conversation for real, jump in.
Yeah.
Let me know if you want to. I'll send you.
We can kick you out a link, Ashley.
Yeah. Just
Well,
let me
Ron,
know.
really quick, actually too, there was a thing talking about that whole doomsday thing, like this could be even be asked.
Speaking of doomsday, Dave, there we go. Look.
There you go.
Read the
There's
comment.
there's a Belgian, it was released today. There was a Belgian video agency that released a video. You all may have heard about it. It was an AI advertisement with Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Sam Altman, basically giving a scary glimpse into the potential future. Basically, it used the aging program, showing them a dystopian society as where we power the machines. And I have a point with this. Where we power the machines because we lost our jobs, so we have our self-worth. So we're basically all in a gyms and exercising. I don't see that happening. But anyway, you talk about the dystopian future, and you think that these whatever they're afraid of by getting this released, it could be this whole dystopian.
Let's just say that there are two sides, and they both want a certain outcome.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it could be one or the other.
It could be
the
good.
Dystopian of whatever nature it may be.
Please read that, Joe. That last comment. Please put that up there and read. The name.
Which one? Whose was it? I just popped.
I believe it was the one that said I believe.
Oh yeah. I live off grid, and I don't.
Yeah,
have
that
it, but
one.
I remember it.
Yeah.
I live off grid in Canada. I have experienced or seen things, and I believe, and they're excited for what's coming.
And who was that?
That was the Lit Cross.
Okay, cool. All right, just wanted to call it out if we hadn't. All right, so anyway, here's what happened. I was watching this interview with Corbel and Pierce and the banner that takes place, and I want you to listen to some of the stuff that are said and some of the stuff that are not said, but particularly I want you to hear the very end of what is said right here. Joe, take us to presentation.
1 second.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sending an invite.
Okay,
here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Who are these gatekeepers? What's going on? Why haven't they told us? There's a really clear and easy answer for that. And I've been told it many times. And we're at a place now where people like you are talking about it and understanding it. And that's not because you just came up with it. It's because people have been seeing them for a long time. People have had contact, including our government. So yes, UFOs are real. Sometimes they're occupied, and under oath in Congress, people in position to know have told you so. And so now we have to confront that and see what it means to be a human.
Right there. What it means to be a human. Now notice he did not say to be human. That's a completely different context. To be a human. There's a reason he asked that question. And he stated it that particular way. That's What do we got out there, dog boy?
Pat says the Pentagon is just going to release that cats are extraterrestrial beings.
Well, I mean, we've postulated that it could be, but no, this right here, the underlying little, what does it mean to be a human, makes perfect sense when you look back at some of the other stuff. We're going to cover that. Stay tuned. We're getting there. Any more questions? We're going to move to the next clip. If not,
here we go.
Good. Okay. All right. This is the reasons for secrecy 2. Yep.
Why would governments be so keen to stop the public from knowing the truth about any visiting alien?
This is such a terrestrial thing that it's almost hilarious. During the atomic era, we created an apparatus of compartmentalization because we needed competitive technological advantage. So in that architecture of the atomic programs, suddenly there was better sensor systems and there was appearing to be more UAP, which is really just means UFO for people that want to know, contact. And so what they did was very smart. They utilized the atomic program's apparatus for compartmentalization. And they said, okay, until we figure out what's going on, one, national security. It's not they're trying to keep the nature of reality away from human beings. It's one, national security.
The nature of reality. There's another drop right there in the middle. These are not he's not just spewing words. There's reasons he's saying these things.
Is this from somewhere else, or is this a competitive adversarial nation? Once they realized that this wasn't Russia, that it wasn't China, that it dates back to the beginning of recorded human history, and there's
you heard that, right? You did hear that.
An increased interest of what we call UFOs, UAP. The second reason was strategic surprise and national sovereignty and advantage. And in fact, there was a bond between your country and mine and 3 others. And we decided that we're going to study this and we're going to look for, check this out, derivative technologies from exploitation programs.
Exactly what Joe said. Because it's better to build the bigger stick.
Yeah.
Especially if it's built with something that can destroy half the universe, right, Joe?
It really, really is. Like if he who has the biggest stick controls the most ground.
Or destroys it. It's one of the two. But no, there were some things that were dropped in there that just went over Pierce's head because he's doing a really good interview. He's trying to have this debate, but you're going to see Jeremy pulls out of really quick and I don't blame him. I wouldn't either. I don't know how Joe would take this particular thing, but he knows very well that I wouldn't take it very well because we've been in a situation similar to that. And it was called out. Anyway, you want to
Pierce
go ahead, Dave.
Sometimes I'll say, Pierce can be kind of daft sometimes too.
Well, yeah, but he's at least reporting and trying to have this conversation. Let me pull up the next one, and this is the part that says okay, the giggle factors are done, and what he drops right here. I don't know why anyone didn't pick this up, but what Jeremy,
too deep, too much. Thank you.
Too deep. What he drops right here literally is the foundation for why what's going on is going on and how hard this is. And it may determine how much we get to know.
Before we bring in other panel members, there's a question that are very keen for me to ask you, which is why is it in popular culture whenever aliens abduct people, they always get the information from them via the technique of an anal probe?
Okay, I'm really glad that we can have this banter because we have now moved past this. We have moved past this. Those are things that people say to try to dismiss what's right in front of their eyes. So I'm not going to answer your question. I'm going to give you something better, because I'm not sticking around for your panel. This is not about debate. Have a great panel. I want to tell you 4 things.
Thank you.
Right now, we're talking yesterday and today. There's a discussion at the Pentagon and the White House from people that work with messaging. They're debating if radical honesty has to be the foundation of the 4 things that they're supposed to figure out how to say. 1 is formal admission of the known facts about UFOs, UAP. 2, formal admission of the unknowns. 3, a formal acknowledgement of UFO presence and reality, that we're not alone, that we never have been, it seems. And 4, very important, they must articulate the preliminary definitions to the public, their determinations to date, and the global defense concerns that have caused the secrecy in the first place.
Yeah. So basically, what that means is that's true. We just read at the beginning of the show. We showed the documentation, because this was several days ago when they did that interview. And he says, people at the White House right now are having this discussion, blah, blah, blah. There it is. This is what was laid out today. This is part of the stuff that we had shown. So that's real. They're actually having this discussion to figure out how much they can tell us. And the men in black keep taking Ashley away.
I was going to say, I think Ashley's having some connectivity issues.
But yeah, let's get some.
This is a good one.
On this.
I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, and the sky watch over the ocean every day and night. I believe that they are water-based beings or need specific atmospheric pressure to survive, is why they rarely emerge. And I would say that there's at least a portion of them.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is like that, because we're mid-Atlantic, Appalachian Mountains is where we're located. And we have some very sensitive sensors. We've got third generation night vision cameras, some second generation night vision cameras, and thermal sensors that we deploy on a regular basis. And we're able to catch these things moving overhead. And we have collected data on at least 3 different variations of UAP or UFO. And Ron has also collected some of the data out over the ocean, going out and going to the beach on vacation and things like that, and seeing strange anomalous lights.
Never truly on vacation.
Yeah, right.
Well, Tim Burchett, his interview, he mentions 6 potential underwater bases around the world. We know of a couple suspected ones around the U.S. potentially. We don't know of them, but there's a possibility of where they might be.
So Iski asks, okay, I have to ask, are you guys afraid of aliens or intrigued by them? Dave, you first.
I'm not really afraid, because I simply just don't know what they are. I think I would need to know what they are to really be afraid. Am I nervous about anything? Yeah, I think we would be stupid not to be a little bit nervous, because we don't know what the intention is. Is it good? Is it bad? Or is it neutral? But I am very intrigued by the whole subject itself and whatever we get out of this. So yeah.
Ron?
Oh no. There's nothing to really be afraid of, unless there's, that potential side B to this. And that there's always a possibility that there's a side B to everything. But
C and D and
right, exactly. It opens an entire
this could be a full D20 of possibilities.
Right. It really could. But as far as, when you say aliens, now that's interesting, because you just asked a very important question and didn't know you even asked it. Are you guys afraid of aliens or intrigued by them? That depends on what an alien is.
Right.
Right?
Right. Me personally, if they showed up, it would probably be something similar to what you've seen on Close Encounters of the Third Kind, only I'd be wearing that. And I'd be like, take me with you. I'm going.
Or it could be Independence Day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's either one of the two situations I think I'd be okay with.
Yeah, probably. You worship a rock. Anyway.
So we got Ashley back.
Ashley's back.
Ashley,
I'm here.
I'll extend the question to you too.
Is there?
Iski asked, I have to ask, are you guys afraid of the aliens or intrigued by them?
Oh, I'm terrified. A little bit of both, Sometimes things that are very scary to us make us, that much more curious. I mean, what do you think people skydive and stuff, It's thrilling, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's not a wrong answer. I mean, that's legit. But you've been listening to the show, so you know what was said about the whole potential for keeping this stuff secret. There's this dark secret,
Terry. Terry.
What is it?
I love you, Terry.
No.
It'll be a big, beautiful disclosure, and the demons will pay for it.
God, you people are sad. That is sad.
So, guys, as you can see, this show can, for anybody who's new, this show can be a dead serious show, or we can just go off the rails. It happens. Yeah. So, Ashley.
No one ever knows
Sorry.
what's happening here. I don't know what's happening here half the time. But anyway. So, we've addressed that whole thing before about the whole human thing, right? And this is what really is the hilarious, ironic part of this whole thing for those folks who are running around screaming demons every 5 seconds. You're psychic, aren't you, Rachie?
That's why I popped it up. I knew exactly where you're going. You almost think we talked about this show.
Stop reading my mind. But no, that's the problem. Because if there is all the, these possibilities have to go on the table at this point, they're pretty serious. So if that is one of the underlying possibilities, then what does that make humans? So before you rest on that as part of your definitive belief system and say that that's reality, you may want to step back and look at it a little closer and understand that there's a lot more going on here than one single thing. I'm not nervous. I wait to rival the Gorn fleet. Well, if it's the Gorn, we're done. So anyway, I did a little research, boys and girls, about that particular subject. And Joe, you got the notes over here somewhere. I think I just popped them up there.
Well, here I got a couple.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to pull these up
just because we got some good ones.
Yeah,
and they're new folks. So
let them roll.
Too Deep says, I believe some life form other than humans control our lives, history, and future, or they manipulate us in their favor. I have a tendency to follow that same line of thought, actually.
Well, the data
Earth,
shows.
water, and wind. Thanks for joining us. I'm more afraid of how the human beings will react. You would think my wife and I were having this conversation, and we really, really, really hope that District 9 is not a documentary.
Oh boy, Alien Nation,
because that would just be. I'm with you. I am afraid to a degree of our response, and then how that will be responded to.
Wow, you should be.
I'm more afraid of that than I am anything else.
I agree. I mean, if we're hostile towards them, then we're screwed, you guys, like all of us. This is
unless, and we'll get to that in just a bit. There's a little bit of hope. Anyway, Joe, I did a little research on this topic, right? Because I wanted to see if that were true, if we are the products of, as some believe, some ancient hybrid program, well, we wouldn't be aliens, and they wouldn't really be aliens, would they, anymore?
No.
See, that's the thing. I found out that they if they did not at any time manipulate their genetics with ours, if they were pure, then no, it wouldn't matter. Thousands of years later, they would still be considered whatever they were, right?
Well, speaking of the 1,000 years later in the consideration, for a fact, and science has proven for a fact, that we have hidden ancestors that we just don't know.
That's
like
100%.
There's fundamental portions of our DNA that are from strangers, so to speak, because we don't have their genome maps.
That's right. So if our so-called alien ancestors have the DNA that cannot be traced to Earth's so-called tree of life, they remain xenogenous, regardless of how many millennia that they actually spent here. Okay. It's because their biology is an export. It came from their planet. It came from wherever they're from, their dimension. I don't know. But either way, it's theirs. That's their material. However, the other part of this is that if we are a hybridization, in this case, the original ETs who landed on Earth would be what is it? Allochthonus or something?
Yeah, Allochthonus and
Autochthonus.
Autochthonus.
So they would be Allochthonus.
They would be the Allochthonus.
We would be the Autochthonus.
Correct.
Right? Right.
Yes.
And in that case, that means we would technically be half them. Is that how that would work?
Well, it wouldn't necessarily be half, but there would be a portion.
A portion.
Because you have to think about the structure of DNA and how it's compounded between generations, and the influence and things of that nature that each ancestor adds in, and how it goes down the line. It would become very diluted, but there would still be notes there.
There would be notes there, almost like junk DNA.
Junk DNA, the unknown portions, like that we know are they're some form of human, so to speak.
Yeah.
We just don't know who they are.
Yeah.
But a lot of it very well could wind up being the junk, in quotations, their DNA.
So we wouldn't recognize it. What is
another
it,
example on that too? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, another example of that too is like we go back to our old friend 3i Atlas, where they said they have discovered some possibilities for the basic building blocks of life on it. That's one object. So, that's another aspect. There could have already been life on Earth, humanoid life, and that, we could have got it hit with the asteroid, basically a destroying asteroid that had basic building blocks of life, and then there goes another mix-up right there. No, technically, we would have had it. Technically, we would be alien if that were the case, or half alien. It's
no, you're right, and that isn't that the whole, the hidden society, breakaway society type thing.
Yeah,
that argument. So, yeah, but what my point is, guys, is this: how would we know that we were or were not? The only way to know that is if we had actual proof from that other part of that pure DNA. Right? I mean, that's the only scientific way.
Right. You'd have to have the components.
Yep. Ashley, jump in anytime. It's what we do here.
Yeah, well, this is a difficult topic for me.
It is.
Because I don't know, I
no,
don't
it's really... okay. We don't know. And
we don't know either.
Speculate.
Well, that's true. I don't know, Joe. I kind of feel like maybe because there's no way in hell that you're from this planet. But
she's got a point.
No, it's a tough one. I mean, this is something that my opinion changes on, probably hourly, right?
It should.
Yeah.
I want you all to listen to what Ashley just said. Her opinion is in a fluid state.
Yeah.
All of your opinions should be in a fluid state, honestly.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's a difficult one. You have to look case by case, because we have cases of contactees who seem to know some type of origin story
Yeah.
But even if they were told, let's all say that's true, their experience happened, they really were told some origin story, even if that all is true, it doesn't mean that this being didn't lie to them. They're not incapable of lying, as far as we know, right? So
Right.
it's a really tough one. Going back to, of course, my own personal expertise, injured cold.
Yeah.
Allegedly, the Lanulosians on Lanulos, they were from here originally. They were Earthlings that crash landed on the planet, and that's how their whole planet got populated, and that's why they're human, because they are human. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on how much stock you put into one story or the other, for how much belief there is. Either way, even if they were us or half us, or we were half them, or I don't think that part makes a difference. We don't even get along with each other, and we all live on this planet.
This is my whole point. What you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, of course, some people would be like, oh, they're us, we need to protect them, they're precious. And then you'd have the other half of people that are, despite it all, stuck in their beliefs, and they're demonic anyway, and we need to destroy them. I mean, that's just the way it is.
No, you're not wrong. People tend to lash out at what they fear. And once we figure out that we are, what did Tim Burchett recently say, Joe? A sand grain.
He has one of my favorite opinions on all of this. Is that once we figure out and can grasp the concept that we aren't the biggest, best, and most superior thing that God could create, the better off we're going to be.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and that's the case, and again, doesn't matter if you're religious. It does not matter at all to me. I could care less, and it shouldn't matter to anyone, quite honestly. But you need to have an open mind either way, because this doesn't interfere with your religious beliefs, with your spiritual beliefs, with any of that, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't. And if anyone tells you otherwise, just walk away.
Every possibility is on the table, and
Yeah.
the reality is that it has to be. Otherwise, we wouldn't even have this conversation. It would be solved.
Bingo. That's why I always said there are no experts. If there were experts, this subject would have diluted itself from that point.
Yeah.
We wouldn't need anyone to debate it. We would have all the answers. Dadgummit. I like that.
Right.
That was good, dadgummit.
He puts that in a hashtag on all of his posts that he does. Is dadgummit.
I love it. He should
fun.
sell shirts. He should really sell shirts with that.
He really should. That'd be a good way to do some fundraising. He's a real good asset when it comes to the UFO phenomena here. So
It really is. Dog Boy
says, I fear that the aliens will not step in to save us from ourselves.
Well, why would they? They haven't before. I mean, they have, but not in that way. Not mass. That's not their thing. They kind of pick up the pieces, I think, and shuffle them around, and let's do this again. 72 people in the chat.
Do the thing, guys.
Yeah, do the thing. Hit that like button at least. Let's send this out. The more that the algorithms, the mighty AI algorithms, see this, the more it gets out. And this is the kind of discussion we're all going to have to start really having for real.
And this Earthman brings up a place where, a lot of religions have the specifically the theistic, monotheistic, and polytheistic religions, where you have to do a thing or else a thing. It's
right.
The reactionary stuff. Some religions specifically say if you do not believe in, then something bad will happen. It's a manipulation tactic. The way it's delivered can very well be a manipulation tactic, but sometimes there's certain things that if you do X, then Y. Like, it's just a natural cause and effect. But now, depending on belief structure, that can change. Oz says, if aliens show up, I won't have dust bunnies under my bed, so I can invite them into my house anytime, any day.
Oh my goodness. What? All right. What clip am I on? You guys.
Oh.
But we have to remain, again, that's the good thing about this show. No matter how serious the topic gets, we're going to laugh at some point. We got to. I mean, that's just it. You can crawl under a bed and worry about this, or you can actually, kind of look at it and realize it's really not as bad as someone wants me to believe it is.
And it's not quite as scary.
It's really not.
Like the unknown is terrifying. I'll give it that. The unknown can be scary, but I'm far more excited than
we've been existing with these things forever, as far as we know at this point, and we're safe. So
thank you. You're 100%. Now you've heard what we read at the beginning, the admission that we don't know what those things are. They're not adversarial, et cetera. Now is the time that I want to play a piece from that very same interview, the one that Corbel walked off from. And you're going to hear the creator of Skeptic Magazine telling you what these things are and why it's all just, smoke and mirrors, adversarial. And he's so confident that that's what this is.
Well, here to debate whether aliens really are amongst us is Dr. Michael Shermer, the founder of Skeptic Magazine and author of the new book, Truth, What It Is. So,
first of all, your clue should be anyone who writes a book that says truth and what it is, you just walk away.
Well, I mean,
just walk away.
It's obvious this guy right out the gate, he is a Sith, which,
an absolute. Yeah. Explain the Sith here. Explain the Sith thing, Joe. So for people who don't understand Star Wars,
a Sith only deals in absolutes.
Yeah.
And this guy wrote a book that's called The Truth and What It Is.
He knows it, by the way.
He's saying that he has the definitive answer.
Now remember that.
It resembles Palpatine a little bit.
Well, I want you to just remember what you just said, and that's true. That's the whole thing. They have the truth. They have the answer. Just remember that in the context of what he says.
Dr. Michael Shermer, welcome to Uncensored. You've said that the vast majority, 95% of supposed UFO sightings
it was 90. That was in the report by Arrow.
Be put down to ordinary terrestrial explanations, balloons, camera lens effects.
70% were balloons, by the way. It's all there. Sorry, I'll continue.
Thanks. Visual illusions or extraordinary terrestrial explanations. Russian or Chinese spy planes or drones capable of feats of physics and aerodynamics unheard of in the US. And
no.
You further said, I think it's highly likely that aliens are out there somewhere in the cosmos. Mm-hmm. But putting those two things together, I guess my first obvious question to you is, all right, you've covered 95% of the sightings. Is it possible that the remaining 5% are genuinely, this million planets with intelligent life sending stuff down to us?
Oh, yes, of course. It's entirely possible. But is it true? The fact that I would like it to be true, because it would be the greatest discovery in the history of science, doesn't make it true. So it's unfortunate Jeremy Corbel doesn't want to hear what the skeptics have to say. I've challenged him many times on X. He doesn't even acknowledge me. I finally got a $1,000 bet with Avi Loeb that we're not going to find aliens, but Jeremy's, in my opinion, wrapped up in a religious fervor and faith-based.
A religious fervor and faith-based. Because he knows and no one else does. No, that doesn't sound like religion. That doesn't sound like a cult way of thinking, does it?
Here's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like two different denominations or two different religions arguing with one another.
That's exactly what it reminds you of.
Who's right?
No, that's exactly what it reminds you of. That is exactly it. Here's another take from him. And we're not going to spend a lot of time on him, by the way. I just let you know. I just wanted
man, you're exactly right. Mr. Skeptic Michael Shermer, he's a logical man, but he's a little closed-minded. I agree. He is very logical.
He's
like
brilliant.
I've listened to a lot of his stuff.
He's brilliant.
Very, very grounded. Like he comes at things honestly. His approach to a lot of stuff mirrors ours, and how we approach things is just that we tend to be a little bit open-minded to see where things lead and be led by the data rather than form our own opinion before the data is even read.
Yeah, we can't make the data do something. That's not the goal. Keep us back in the presentation. I'm going to the next clip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's a debate.
out there somewhere, there probably is intelligent life, and I would agree with that. Most scientists do agree with that. That doesn't mean there is.
Now, I wanted to.
Doesn't mean that it's on this planet either.
Well, I wanted to play that part. Yeah, right. That's 100% true. So I wanted to play that part because in recent years, that wasn't even on the table for these guys. Okay. They were steering away from that possibility altogether. I honestly can tell you that I remember when that magazine first came out. Okay. I remember it because I got back in the day, we got real mail. And I actually got, for whatever reason, a free subscription to this thing. I didn't subscribe, but I got a notice for it. I have no idea why I got it, by the way, but I did get that. And very strangely, back then, of course, they didn't believe anything because, we haven't even discovered exoplanets at that point. It was all theoretical. How many exoplanets are there now, David? Like 600 or something?
We're over 6,000 or 7,000 now.
6,000 or 7,000. Sorry, not 600. I almost said 600. 6,000.
And just this year, there was another that was discovered that was absolutely massive.
Right. But that's just the big ones we can see, guys.
Right.
And we're just now starting to see the Earth size.
I mean, they're already talking about now that this is no one take this as gospel. This has not been proven. What I'm about ready to say, I think it was a grain of salt.
Right,
so Ron, get ready to add this to the cult doctrine.
Yep. Screenshot this, everybody. Everybody.
So there's I'm kind of calling BS on this because I've not seen actually any official verified paperwork, but there's a group of scientists now saying, a very small group, that they think they might have discovered a type 2 civilization.
No, I've seen this. They're talking about Tabby Star. I know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah. So
I don't
really take it with a grain of salt. But
yeah. This is true. That's been going on for a bit. They've been discussing this. Yeah, exactly, Whitnett. I don't have to believe in electricity to see its effects. Thank you. Thank you. You are our people. Thank you. All right, I'm going to continue.
We haven't found it yet, but the telescopes we're developing now, we probably will. Eventually, within 50 to 100 years, we'll know for sure. But at the moment, we don't know. So all we have is probabilities. But that's a separate question from, have they actually come here? So the argument I make in the book is that it's possible, but very, very unlikely. I'd give it less than a 1% on a Bayesian scale. It's just unlikely that they've come here. And I think it's really a religious kind of impulse that there's somebody out there vastly superior to us that knows we're here, and that's religion.
There's that word.
So I want to take a second and just strike on this one. And
strike.
And Ashley, Ron, and Dave, I want to get your all's opinions too.
Oh yeah.
This guy, he is a self-proclaimed skeptic, blah, 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 blah.
Take us back to regular mode in case you see something really cool and I have to make a short out of this. Go ahead.
Every time.
Yeah.
There has been some great skeptic mind.
Yes.
Go into a debate.
Mm-hmm.
Their straw man against whoever it is they're debating is righteous or religious fervor.
Mm-hmm.
Or religious like fervor. They're coming at this from a religious angle, because that is like the societal strike mark that will automatically disqualify whoever the argument is against for anyone who is a logical thinker.
That's one. And the other is fringe.
Yeah.
Those are the two words. But
because
that's what we're attacked by.
Yeah, it very much is. Ashley, have you ever been met with any kind of just from a debate with skeptics or whatever?
Yeah, you ever been on social media? Here's the thing, though. This is gonna surprise people. I don't blame him. I don't blame him for having the opinions that he does, because I used to be that person. I get it. Still consider myself that person to some degree, right? A little too skeptical for the run of the mill, peanut gallery paranormal community. But the thing is that people like this guy, he just wants to argue, and that's what it is at the end of the day. wants to be involved in something. He doesn't have to insert himself into this topic. He
Yeah.
chooses to, and he just wants to argue. What these skeptics do is they take opinions and they try to apply the scientific method to those opinions, and that's not how that works.
Well, that's
Science-
exactly what the believers do too.
They do.
Like,
They
the true
absolutely do.
believers do the same exact thing, and the skeptics don't realize that they're mimicking the very thing that they're trying to rally against.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It is the most ironic thing, and they can't see it.
Yeah, they're the same person, right? They're
Right. It literally is. They're the same people. They're cut from the same cloth. They have to be.
yeah, and that's why they don't get along. You know, they're
No,
just they're too
You're
alike.
right. You're so right.
You know, and that's what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, science is not an opinion. It's fact. It's objective fact. This is what we know. This is what we can prove. This is what we can replicate. You can have science and your opinion, but again, you can't prove. I can't prove to you that cheesecake is the best dessert on in the entire world using science.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, have you ever had it? Because the only people that don't like it have never had it before, right?
Exactly.
We know they're just wrong, you know. But no, I mean, that's the way that works. That's what is different between science, you know, fact and opinion, and people still mix these two things together in a lot of aspects in life. We see that every single day, not just in this subject, but God, everywhere. So, you know, it's frustrating, and like I said, they do it on purpose because they want to get on the floor and they want to argue. I don't know if it's insecurity. I don't know what the psychology is behind it. It's whatever. But yeah, I mean, definitely get met with tons of skeptics all the time, and anybody that pushes that hard, you know, for you to not believe in these things, usually are not that well educated. And just like they were saying on the video, he's saying, oh, well, maybe you did explain 95% of these sightings. No, maybe you did not. Project Blue Book, which was the entire government, right, that we had working on it, all the disposable income in the world, all the experts that we could have ever even dreamed of having, and they still had 35% of cases that they could not explain. Period.
Which is about equal for Arrow right now, from what I understand.
Right. So you come in with your book, some guy, and you can explain 95% of it. Get out of here.
I mean, he's got a lot of books to sell. Let's call it for, you know, what it is.
Well,
get some of these guys up.
LR chiming in here, Ash. He says, okay, but have you had no-bake cookies? I love cheesecake, but no-bakes are the best, especially the peanut butter ones made with cornflakes.
See, they're wanting the meeting. That's what they're wanting. This is what they do. They start talking about food, and they start making me want it. And I'm like, we got to have that. And they're like, oh, yeah. So, and then someone throws in like $50 and makes us feel guilty because they're like, this is for the cookies. And I'm like, well, crap. Now we got to do this.
I do have Anita bring some more of those little cakes she had made.
Oh, she better.
Yes, she better.
She better. That's mandatory at this point.
Yeah, those she made those pistachio loaves.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, those were amazing.
She is quite the cook.
Incredible. Anyway, we're talking about food. We're getting off track. Sorry for you new folks, but that's how it rolls around here. You just never know what's going to happen.
And folks, if you are, again, the donations and everything that people send in here, it keeps the lights on here in the studio, but it also keeps us out in the field conducting research. We do conduct real research using real sensitive instrumentation that is the same stuff that, you know, you're seeing used on any other TV program, but also being used by the U.S. government. We're using the same sensors. We're seeing all this stuff, but then we also use the stuff that comes in to fund get-togethers, and they're free. And there's tons of food. And did I mention they're free to attend? And and we all get together and hang out, have a good time, and there's usually giveaways too.
Okay, so speaking of what, you know, giving people stuff, it's time to give them what they got.
The new blessing, because we're blessing. Like we've doubled it, dude.
Let's give the new blessing. Let's do it.
So thank you guys. Appreciate you. This is the new one that Ron has crafted. By the way, none of this is AI. Ron is a 3D artist. He has animated this painstakingly. I've seen all the slides, and
that's also original. That's original music as well.
Right. Yeah. It's even Ron playing the flute.
can't wait.
And
to
I'm
get to
really
see
digging the
whole thing.
homage to the original X-Files theme that you're throwing in some of these.
Every now and again, you'll hear it.
Absolutely
You
love
know,
it.
if you stick around, I might actually do that here in a little bit. We'll see. We'll see.
I was-
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I was going to ask you guys. You guys got, if I give like a little like a space type thing for people to kind of put in their heads when you think of alien life that's out there. This is something most people realize or think about, but you look at a lot of people call this multiverse theory, but when you think of like blood cells, for example, then you have the blood cells universe. Maybe the atom is the galaxy or galaxies, I should say. So there's a scientific theory that there are multiple universes, kind of like in a spider web, and in multiple universes, and you have all these galaxies. But just for what we currently have understanding of, like with our own universe, which is, you gotta think there's approximately 100 million to 100 trillion stars in most galaxies.
Yeah.
And then you look at that and you amp that number up, and there's possibly 100 to 400 billions of planets in each galaxy. And then you see how many galaxies that are out there. They're saying trillion or millions to trillions potentially of galaxies. So,
Yeah, man.
I mean, life 400, trillions.
The odds.
The potential is insane, is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Iski asks a very good question, Joseph.
Yep. And this real quick, I'm just going to show you.
All right. Ready? Go ahead.
Got one. I'm on it. It's moving.
Record it.
Yep, I've got him.
Good
He
job.
just buzzed by an aircraft that mocked Jesus.
That was a fun one. And for you folks who don't know what happened, that is the classic flashlight experiment as John Keel actually performed back in the day. And we are in an area where the man himself stood at one point and very likely did the same thing.
Milton Pope says, I got to get off here. There's too many Yankees talking about cheesecake and cookies. Nobody talking about banana pudding.
Oh my God. Banana pudding. That'd be good too. You know what's good with banana pudding? And don't hate me, but if you take banana pudding and you mix it with just a little bit of chocolate pudding, just a little bit.
I'd say it would
Oh,
be
it's good. It's good. Yeah.
And I like doing vanilla, like a vanilla cream pudding with a little bit of cinnamon.
Oh yeah.
And mixing that with banana pudding, and that's pretty good.
Yep.
Anyway,
We can have a paranormal pudding party.
Oh,
yeah, right.
my
That's what we're
God.
going to do, Ashley.
Pudding. That should be the theme.
Pudding.
That could be the theme, right? Yeah.
Everybody's picking up on the mock Jesus.
Oh, you guys just heard that for the first time? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's a classic instantly. Trust me. We were thinking about having shirts made. We just haven't did it yet.
I know,
Probably
right?
wouldn't send one to Tim Burchett, just so he'll have something to reference.
So Ron, go ahead. Where were you heading?
I don't even remember. No, it's let's take us back to presentation mode. And we're going to see Jesse Michaels here, and he's in the debate as well. And he kind of just calls it out, and I think he does such a great job at this.
Believing in God? Are you a religious man?
Oh no, I'm an atheist. Yeah, I'm an agnostic.
Atheist,
Technically,
yeah.
I don't know, and you don't. I don't know, and you don't either. Is my quick take on agnosticism. But no, I don't believe in God. No, and the research on this, by the way, I discuss this in the book, is that people that score high on need of spirituality and awe and wonder, but are low in religiosity, are more likely to believe that aliens are visiting Earth. So that's kind of the part of the thesis of my idea here, that this is kind of a religious impulse.
Look at all those books.
Oh yeah, he
All
definitely.
those books.
Yeah, it's all the
He's in
same
it.
book, but yeah, that's
He's in it. Yeah, he's in there. Yeah.
It's a way of telling us, just like the original 1951 film, The Day the Earth Stood Still. It's a Christ allegory. Klaatu comes down from on high, delivers the message. He's killed by the authorities. He's put in the tomb. And then Gort the robot pulls him out of the tomb and brings him back to life. He resurrects him. He delivers the message to Earthlings about the nuclear weapons, and he ascends to heaven in the spaceship. It's a Christ allegory. It's the oldest story in all of mythology. I think what we're witnessing here is mythology.
Okay. Jesse, what's your response to that?
I think everybody does have a religious impulse, and I think skepticism is an embodiment of the religious impulse as well.
I love it. It's just the best that he said that. It's just like, yeah, there you go.
It says, so he's starting with an assumption and then runs the experiment. That is basically what he said. Yeah.
That's pretty much what they said. You are 100% correct. All right. So let's get away from that and let's go to some other more interesting stuff. And this would be, this is the Area 52 stuff. So this is where it gets really good. This is where we get more evidence, more data to support the possibilities of where we're actually going to go with this stuff. And back to that secret, what secret could be so big, et cetera, et cetera. Well, Ross talks about one of those secrets.
The most galling, shocking moments for me was when people that I was talking to in the program, who are still in the program, admitted to me that we're using high pulse microwave weapons, HPMs, to
take them down.
Craft. And what we do is we use psionics to lure them, to bring them, to attract them, to invite them. And for some obscure reason, they keep on coming.
That's something we discussed about as well yesterday, and it's something that I've been pondering on a lot on this channel, as many of the viewers know, is that that seems to me like a white blood cell response, like some type of autoimmune system response, because if they are that intelligent, they're not fish. They're not going to keep falling for the same trap and bait. Is
it like an AI?
I mean, is it?
I mean, my big question is, where can I get an Invisible College sweatshirt?
Right. You should probably get one. Yeah. So, let's see. We were, the whole concept of the not, the not alien, or they can't say it's alien. We've heard this multiple times, over and over and over again. And I've got a little clip here for you for that. And you're going to like this one. You guys like this, especially you guys from, I think it's this one. You're going to have a little surprise in the middle of this one.
What I find most confronting is, at the moment, the official position still of the Pentagon is we have no evidence at all of extraterrestrial engagement with planet Earth.
Yeah.
And they won't say NHI engagement with planet Earth for some reason. I noticed our friend Chris Sharp has put that to Susan Goff at the Pentagon, and she won't allow him to use NHI in substitution. It means what they've done is they've very subtly confected a response that just giving them some wriggle room,
right,
for when public disclosure does happen.
I would put it to you this way. The statement Arrow has made is scientific evidence of extraterrestrials. Scientific evidence requires a scientific control. Extraterrestrial is an entity on another planet. The only way to scientifically prove extraterrestrial is we have to go to that planet, acquire technology, bring it back, and compare it to what we have here.
So you're saying they won't come forward unless they confirm that unless they go to the planet and confirm where its origin is.
That would be scientific evidence, yes. And by that statement, Arrow found no scientific evidence of extraterrestrials is basically, I don't want to call it a psyop, but a misrepresentation, because we do have things. But making that statement is not technically a lie, it's a misrepresentation of the full truth.
As most of you know who read my books, I don't think they're extraterrestrial at all. I think they're definitely tied to the human race, and that they react to things that are happening to the human race.
They can say, well, no, we didn't say ET. We didn't say it was,
yes.
We said it wasn't ET.
Yeah, synthetic sentience is probably the reality of the matter.
I think there's something like that. The best I've got from people about the accounts of bodies that they've seen are that these are some kind of android, some kind of biological
synthetic
robot.
intelligence.
Yeah. They're constructed objects.
Well, aren't we all? in a way. Just saying.
I mean, it's possible.
Of the oh, hi, hello.
There you are. Where'd you
Yeah.
go?
The government
From where
doesn't
she
want me to
dropped out
talk to you
when I
guys
switched
tonight. I
back
don't know.
to the mode.
my laptop died, so I switched to my phone.
She was abducted. She's just not telling us.
Octo. It's the best excuse. Octo.
Octo says they're only talking about it now because the truth cannot be hidden anymore. They are trying to control the narrative by telling bits and pieces and creating entire lies based on disinformation.
Maybe. I mean, there's going to be disinformation. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, there's already a ton of it.
There's a lot of disinformation, but
AI is spit. People are using AI to spin photographs and spin documents.
Oh my goodness, it's going to get so bad. You just don't even know at this point.
Like I said earlier, we're going to have to read in between the lines when the files come out.
Yeah.
And if they'll probably put it on a website like they did those other files. And, we'll probably have to read through them. And,
I'm hoping they're going to be searchable. They weren't the last time when they released the 2 billion documents a few years ago. Yep. And they were terrible. They were just scanned in and you couldn't search them. You just had to go through these just tons and tons of links, and hopefully that's going to happen this time. I don't know. We're going to see what happens with that. But let's get to my favorite part of this whole thing, because now this is where I want the experiencers who are listening start chiming in. No one's going to, by the way, say anything negative about your experience here. That's not what we do. By the way, I am an experiencer. Joe has now seen things himself. Dave, we're still trying to figure out what's happened to him, but it happened years ago, but it's okay. See, it's tore him up. You can tell he's there we go. He's responded now sometimes. All right. So take us for presentation mode. We're going to go to the, part with where they're talking about the experiencers and listen to some of the stuff they say, see if it resonates with you, because some of this stuff it should.
But what I'm wrestling with at the moment is, like John Mack did, the abduction phenomenon, or let's call it more neutrally, the experiencer phenomenon, where people claim to have moments where they have been taken somewhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes it seems to be voluntary.
Yeah, it's some physical, non-physical.
And they're having encounters with beings. And so sometimes they're reptilian. For me, the big one in recent years was I had several individuals contacted me completely independently, telling me how I'd started talking about downloads. And I'm really fascinated with consciousness, and I'm sure we'll get onto consciousness, but I'm fascinated with the idea that the real mystery, I don't really care anymore about the nuts and bolts claim of craft.
Now, he's quoting John Keel right there, just for you folks who don't know. That is a direct quote. Yeah. I think we used that in the last episode.
We used it in Parallel Horizons.
Yeah, it was the last episode or the Keel episode, I think.
Yep.
No, it was the last episode.
It was the very last episode.
Yeah, it was the very last episode. That's how it began. You're right. Yeah.
Aliens, it's kind of like tangential. To me, the real mystery is consciousness and what's going on with human minds, and what's the meaning of our relationship in all of this. If there are beings that are engaging with this planet, why are they interested in us, us humans, or at least some humans?
Well, why do you think they're interested in most of us? Anybody out there?
Earthman, I've had a few experiences myself. The unbelievable is real.
The unbelievable is real. No, you're right. You're 100% correct on that.
Iski's also had experiences. Octo's had experiences.
All right. Everybody who's had experiences, just for the fun of it, the ones that are here, if you're listening, if you're capable, pull out your phone. If you're watching on TV, if you've had an experience, just type this. Yes. Like this. That's it.
Godot. Everyone says consciousness.
Yeah.
That's just the veneer.
Yeah, it is.
That is such a good statement.
I'm not even going to read your names out, by the way, as far as it goes with the yes stuff. We're just watching them scroll.
Yeah.
And our screen is just lighting up over here. This is absolutely crazy. Wow. Amazing. Yeah. Absolutely.
You're all of us.
All of us, literally. That's what I'm seeing. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I really didn't have any idea, guys. I'll be 100% honest with you. I had no idea.
Stone Maven herself has not, but Mr. Stone Maven has.
Really? Well, that happens. I mean, it you know, and sometimes that can cause problems with people, but I find that if someone actually truly trusts what's happening with someone they know, then anything's possible. And you should always just keep that, that idea on the table. It's like, you know what, there's just something bigger than this. And why not? I think that's an important thing. We have to get away from it can't be, whether that be self-preserving or put into us from belief systems or, what have you. We need to move from that. Let me go to the next image or the next video. Over here. Joe, take us to presentation when you're done there. Thank you.
Already
sir.
there.
Already there. You're ahead of things, aren't you?
I keep on coming back to this consciousness mystery, and a lot of people have been telling me about what they get are downloads. In some cases, in many cases, it's either creative downloads. They're inspired to write beautiful art or to do beautiful art or write beautiful music, or scientific ideas, literally schematics, diagrams come into their heads and they write them down. And I've had this described to me by multiple people, multiple occasions.
Yeah. So what he's telling you right there, guys, is that, again, I'm going to do this for you guys one more time. We got 70 people over there again. Every single one of you who said that you were an experiencer, you've had strange experiences. That doesn't mean that you're abducted. That means you've had strange experiences that you can't quite put your finger on. Okay. Maybe you saw a weird, shadow being or something in your room when you were a kid. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Maybe you had out of body experiences. Maybe you're more in tune with these things. They're real. Okay. So out of all those people, how many of you are artists, musicians, writers, or storytellers to the point of almost documentation? If that makes sense. Just say yes. That's all. We don't need to know what you play or what you paint or anything like that. You all know what I play and what I paint and everything else that comes from what I do. And here we go.
I'll tell you what way I like to think of things.
Look at that.
You picture your consciousness the here and now since you were born. You think about the age of the universe, the supposed theoretical known age of the universe. Let's just say millions, billions of years, right? And you think of, all right, I've been alive for 49 years on this earth. I have memories of those past 49 years. And I'm thinking like all these history on earth has progressed from the beginning to the Middle Ages to now. And you think all this life happened before me. I die, which, speaking for myself, I do believe we go somewhere else. That being said, and then there's all this consciousness on earth afterwards that, we are, to my knowledge, we're not aware of the before, but we're not aware of the after. If you see where I'm going with this, we're just aware of the here and now.
Yeah.
And to me, that's one of those things that keeps me up at night to think about all these years before. And
eternity past and eternity future.
It's a crazy thought.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a crazy thought, and there's just so much more to it than that. Take us back presentation mode. We got a little bit more on this. we're still in the experiencer section, and these folks just answered my question. Almost what, half of the lobby here, literally,
which
artists,
is pretty uniform.
writers.
We get that at normally every speaking engagement we have. This is a series of questions that we ask at every event that we're at, and we have a similar response.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to see. It's just a repeated thing at this point. It's a data set that repeats over and over and over again.
Period of time about 18 months, 2 years ago, a lot of people started responding to me when I just casually mentioned the blue guys.
Anybody seen the blue guys? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I just said it casually. I just said, oh, you mean the blue guys? And I said it almost as a flippant comment. Oh my God. I was just swamped. My inbox just completely filled up all over the world. People were writing to me about their engagement with the blue guys. One example, there was a guy contacted me from a European country, and he had a dream, semi-dream, in that liminal moment between dreaming and waking, where there's a blue being talking to him, and then he's sitting in his living room and he's seeing what look like hieroglyphic images, and he's photographing them, and he sent me pictures of these images, and I sent them to somebody I know who's associated with the National Security Agency, the NSA, and he said it was like Sumerian.
Oh wow.
And like ancient Sumerian symbology.
So my request is for the rest of you folks who have been buying my art, and there are some strange symbols on it from time to time, do not take pictures of those and send them to the NSA. Do not do that. It may not be good. I don't know. Just don't do it. And let's see. Of course, you guys know the primary and principal operators here as far as it goes, and they're just basically saying, it's the Greys. Of course it's the Greys. I mean, that's the most dominant, I guess, species, so to speak, that you hear about, other than, a few of the others that they bring up here from time to time. I'll play that one for you.
There been any of that, any species talk from these people?
Obviously the Greys.
The Greys is like
it's almost a unanimous.
Almost unanimous.
Yeah.
Short Greys or tall Greys?
Short and tall.
Short and tall Greys.
It's funny. I just want to make this observation. The fact that Dr. Eric Davis, a hugely respected physicist, who is making an assertion that he has been briefed by a former president, Herbert Walker Bush, about
mantids, reptilians, Nordics.
It's mind-blowing.
Reptilians. There's that word again, Joe.
Yeah.
Like those reptilians we showed for you guys who didn't see. I condensed that down to a short for you. Take a look. It's over there on our page. I'm not saying that all those.
I'm going to go look at my eyeballs.
I'm not going to say that all those reports are linked to that particular video. I'm going to say that this goes back to that potential disinformation thing that we were talking about before. That's what I'm going to say. I mean, for all I know, there are beings out there who are not even made of matter. So, and some people, can tell you that some of the beings out there probably don't matter at that point. I got a couple more, Joe. So let's go ahead and run through these real fast, rapid fire. And then you guys get your questions and comments in during them. Again, we're going to start and we'll go from there.
And I'm wrestling with this as a journalist.
Sure.
At what point do I start giving credibility to the idea that there are people giving consistent witness statements of what appear to be first-hand encounters with a phenomenon that appears to be a non-human intelligence that is engaging with them often in a semi-dream state.
Yeah.
But which appears to them to be real.
Yeah, there is the question, and that's something John Mack wrestled with as well, was the majority, what seems to be the majority of these interactions with these beings seems to be non-physical.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean a dream. There is some type of in-between non-physical realm that isn't quite a dream, and that can even leave you with physical markings. Like there is like this overlap as well. So it's, yeah, it begins to get very complicated when you try to explain the physical side, and people have a hard time swallowing that. And then to go from that to be like, oh, but the non-physical is also real.
And then I'm going to go into this one because this is something that we've talked about multiple times at shows, multiple times at presentations. It's great to hear other people now looking at this and saying, you know, this is validation for us, honestly.
Things that they were telling the Defense Department was that whatever it is, it has the capacity to manipulate human perception.
Yeah.
I think they use something like cognitive inputs or something like that. But essentially, when you read between the lines, what they're describing is the ability to alter human perception.
Yep.
And I told you the story yesterday, and I'll tell you publicly in a limited way. I spoke to a very senior Australian politician who contacted me out of the blue. He'd seen a story that I'd done on Australian TV, and he was a very senior minister of the Australian government. And he is standing on a set of steps in Sydney, Australia, looking out over a public area where there are cars moving around, and he's waiting for his ministerial limousine to come and pick him up. His press secretary is standing beside him, and there are bodyguards standing around him as well, which probably gives you an idea of how important he was. And he looks up and he sees what he described to me, and he's adamant it was real. He says, I wasn't hallucinating, I hadn't been drinking, I hadn't been out for lunch. He looks up and he sees a gigantic elliptical metal disc hovering over the square. And he's looking at his press secretary, who's looking up perplexed as well, and he can see that he's looking at something, but he can't see what he's seeing. And he realizes whatever it is, it's definitely real to him. It's projecting to him that it's there. But as he said to me, he said, I can't say for sure that it was there, but it wanted me to know that it was real.
And there's that. Now, again, this is stuff that we've observed in the field. The whole, you know, if it wants you to see it, you will, kind of thing. And then they're talking about perceptions. And we've talked about this before too, how others can see things, you know, different than what someone else may see, or how the phenomenon may mask itself. You've heard that term before, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what they're looking at.
It says like a hologram visible from only one angle.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it really. If you're talking about an interface with perception, with consciousness and the perception factor of the brain, I mean, literally, it could look like anything it wants, you know, or it thinks that you want to see or could see. Now, that's pretty good manipulation. Whoa, what happened there?
I have no idea.
What in the world?
It's the Ron Show, starring Ron.
Why is it doing that? The mainstream just changed.
Yeah, let me try to get us back here. Nope, wrong.
That's
one.
almost it. There it is.
There we go.
Wow, that was weird.
Yeah, that was really odd.
Yeah, that's strange. But no, that's you know, as far as it goes with the whole perception thing, we've talked about that multiple times. And we've even showed that, you know, that's a thing that they're actually working on. How, you know, AI can decipher your brain waves and say what you're looking at, and then try to figure out how to input it right into your head, which means they'll probably try to figure out a way to input commercials right into your head. You know, it wouldn't surprise me. Go ahead.
Booker says, not an experiencer, but I enjoy the topic and all of you fine people.
Well, thank you, Booker.
Not an experiencer yet.
There you go. Yeah, there's
been out in the field with us yet, George.
There's always Tom. There's always Tom. All right. Do we have anything else up there?
I've been following the comments and popping them up
Okay.
and such.
Okay. Well, good.
Throughout.
Right. Okay. Take us back to presentation.
Oh, still more. Okay.
It's a few more. Yeah. I'm skipping through now. I want to get to the main one where they're talking about, there's two more. There we go. This one is where the potential for a threat narrative comes from. And we're going to talk about this. I'm going to play this one and I'm going to play the other one, and we're going to talk about those two, and that's it.
You can't rule out the possibility that what this all is the one phenomenon representing itself
manipulating
in different
perception.
ways.
That, and when you,
I can rule that out, but and I really can. I think there's enough data on the table at this point that shows that this is not simply from one single phenomena. And, related, yes, possibly, or possibly there's a underlying mechanism that they all share, some form of physics that we don't know anything about. Who knows?
You say that, I immediately think back to Jake Barber's incident with this 8 gone craft, and he gets overwhelmed with this sense of love. What's to stop them from, imbuing us with those senses as well? Like,
yeah, it would be a bad thing for everyone on Earth to suddenly feel love. What a terrible idea.
Like there are tales from people like Dan Burish, and take that for what it's worth, but he would also say that these beings would, when looking into their eyes, flood you with your own endorphins and give you a sense of calm and peace and almost euphoria.
Sure.
And because of that, you felt this sense of familiarity. You felt the sense of like, oh, I know these people. Oh, they're good, and they would essentially. He said that it was the rogue entities, the ones that took you at night, that did that to you.
But the really interesting thing about that is, if they can do that, a lot of people automatically default to the idea that, like, these are loving beings.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
They're all benevolent.
It might be a psyop.
It could be that they're just manipulating us.
It could be, couldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, no, it really could be. That's a fact.
Like this is. Is there? Are we going to more clips, or is that one?
One more, and
Okay.
this is the part about the agreements.
The other thing that I do believe is quite possibly the case, but I haven't been able to substantiate it to my satisfaction, I've only heard insufficient data points to make a conclusion, is the allegation that there are beings that have been collaborating with humans.
Right.
So the implication being that there is an ongoing collaboration between humans and non-humans in some kind of unspecified
treaty
agreement. And I keep on pointing people back to my interview with David Grush, where I pinned David down on a line in his DOPSA. And it's quite clear that you're talking about agreements between America and non-human intelligences. Have we made agreements with non-human intelligences?
That's the kind of information I really hope national leadership is able to get to the bottom of.
I mean, that's kind of what's happening, by the way, just to let you know.
To pin you down on this, are there agreements between non-human intelligences and the American government?
I think that's a question that I would like to know all the details of as well.
And I believe there are agreements that have been made between non-humans and humans. And I do think the US government was involved, but whether it was done formally by a president or whether it was done by an agency of the United States, like the CIA, on behalf of the human race, imagine the ethics of that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing. Imagine how Russia, Britain, China, the rest of the world will feel if they learn that the Americans concluded a deal with a non-human intelligence 60, 70 years ago.
And potentially with the wrong ones.
You've heard the same story.
Yeah.
I've heard the same story. Take us back. So, these are the dark potentials of this little secret. We have the potential admission of something here that apparently quite a few of us here agree that can't be stopped, can do anything at once, can manipulate you into whatever perception, seeing it, feeling it, control your emotions. And then you have the other one where they say, oh, there's a possibility that there was some kind of agreement that was made. Again, this all goes back to that. We've heard it. It's in old books, you know, it's legend at this point that there was some kind of an agreement signed.
Yeah.
You know, there's no proof of this, by the way, yet. If it turns out that that is true, and we've said this before, there are crimes that have been committed that are unbelievable, or potentially, I should say, potentially unbelievable at this point. And you think you've seen something. So far, you've seen nothing compared to what this could potentially be. And that's how destabilizing it can be. Get them up.
All right, Clark, thanks for joining the conversation. It said
Hey, Clark.
be the good old good cop, bad cop trick.
It could be a test, could be a lot of things, right?
Octopus, one of their masks is going to slip any day now. Referencing Passport there.
Yep, Passport.
Oh yeah, they did knock people off so that way you'll never know the
100%.
truth.
100%.
100%. That's
100%.
documented in, I think, every aspect of everything at this point.
Yes. Full threats, everything. Yeah.
Jordan says if there was a diplomatic agreement, I wonder what the benefit to the NHI or aliens was.
Man, don't you though?
So, Ashley, with everything that has spun out just in the last 15, 20 minutes here on the show, the clips and the mild discourse, what is one of the big takeaways? Because, you know, we're looking at potential earth-shattering news.
No, it is potential.
That could radically change perspectives. And that's one of the fears, is that it could too radically change perspectives and push them too far to any of this stuff. Like where do you think we're sitting at maybe as a risk factor or the potential here? Maybe I just talked.
Well, like I said earlier, everything is on the table, right? None of us have any real way of knowing what's going to be revealed, right? If anything, at this point, right? Because it's not set in stone until it's out there for sure.
And then the timing. You and I talked about how long this is going to actually take.
Yeah, it is going to take quite a while to come out. It's not like nothing like this has ever happened before. Let me again redirect your attention to Project Blue Book. We have seen this happen before, where we get this mass dump of files, and even in the year 2026, right, years and years later, people are still misidentifying information in it and presenting it to their discretion. So that's going to be a big issue that we see with a lot of this, is that as these files start to come out and people start to comb over them, you're going to have a flood of, you know, it's not even necessarily misinformation on purpose to misguide anybody. It's just, I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of, difficult time interpreting what it is that they're reading. And we're all going to have our own idea of what that looks like. But, my own personal opinion, I don't think there's a smoking gun in there that is going to be surprising to the average enthusiast, right, of these topics. I think that it's all information that we've heard before, maybe some confirmation of some of that information, but, I don't know. I don't know that I subscribe to the idea of a treaty between us and these things and stuff like that. I don't think our relationship is that deep. I think that the worst implication here is that we're going to get the same answers we've been getting. There's stuff we don't know and can't explain, and that's it. That's our answer. And I think that that is harmful to people in general. We acknowledge that there's some intelligent life that's visiting us, and maybe we know little things about them, but because we don't know all of it, we don't have control over it. And when our authority doesn't have control, our utmost authority on the entire planet can't control these things, then the general population is going to go, well, that's a reason to be afraid. And they're going to freak out. Now, what that freak out looks like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It'll be very interesting to watch all of this play out. We're going to be so damn busy.
Oh, we are. We are totally going to be busy. This is all feels like it's been set up. Just, I don't know. It's weird. Next comment,
Now,
Joe.
With everything that's spilling out right now, specifically in that last the video or clip before last, where they talked about, flooding you with your own endorphins, and it could be a psyop.
Yeah.
I mean, it realistically very well could be. You don't know. You don't know the intent.
You do not.
If something has the ability to manipulate and control consciousness, then it could technically control what you think about it.
Yeah, it could, couldn't it? It could technically control everything you do, everyone you meet, nothing in every single thing. You never had a free will or free thought of your own. Think about that for just a second. Let it sink in.
Well, I mean, there's a ton of religions that believe in a predestined future. So, like, that's really not that far outside of the box for.
It is if it turns out to be aliens.
Names, labels
for them, not for us. I'm saying
right, but the concept though isn't a huge foreign concept.
Yeah,
like that part of it anyway.
It's not a huge foreign concept. It's just a very destabilizing concept for some people. They don't like that. People want to be free.
Right.
People are born free. They fight for freedom. And then you're saying you're never free? That you're what? You're a puppet? Used for what? I didn't bring the Gary Nolan clip on, by the way. Yeah. There's a very interesting clip from Mr. Nolan, Dr. Nolan, that's out there floating around right now. And he's speculating. He's completely, he says he is. But he makes some good points. He makes some very good points. And he backs up that whole theory that people have said from, Bob Lazar said this. Bob Lazar said that he saw a document where it was mentioned, by the way. He didn't say, this is what I believe. This is what they told me to believe. He said, I saw a document and it said this. And that's where the rumor of the whole containers thing came from. And, there are folks who believe that, Joe.
There are.
That we were created for the purpose of housing, whatever energy, soul, call it what you want. And again, it's the way that you look at it, isn't it? Because that's literally what it says. And that's kind of what most religions say, by the way. Again, we're just looking at this stuff in different lights, in all the different spectrums. I think Reverend Carter is the one who said, what if it's all true and none of it's true? And what he meant by that was, what if some of this is very true? It's just the way that we look at it, the way we digest it.
Well, it's because it's paradoxical. If they can control the way that we perceive them or, take on their knowledge, then whatever these files end up disclosing they don't matter anyway, because this phenomena has told our utmost officials what to think about them and what to believe and what to publish. And I mean, so that's hard. That's very difficult for us to wrap our brains around, because we just simply aren't there as a species, as an entity, as a race. We're not really meant to know. And in my heart of hearts, that's what I believe. We're just not meant or capable to know and understand it.
No, you're not wrong. And now we look at the other side of the coin, where a lot of the metaphysicists have been saying for the years, and some of the contactees have been saying, they're here to raise the vibrational, state. They're here to take us to the next level. And we even theorized at one point, well, you know what? Maybe they got tired of the government luring them into traps constantly. And that's why they went out and decided to just start having these communications with everyday individuals. Maybe they bypassed the system. They knew that they were going to be exploited. But there's a reason we're here. There's a reason that we're doing this. We tried with these people. Let's try with the actual general public and see if they can make things change. And so you have to look at that as a possibility as well. Then you have to look at the possibility of, like what they were discussing, which side are you following? Which side's doing the manipulation? Which side? Or are there multiples? And is humanity simply just pawns on a giant chessboard? That would be like that chessboard that Spock and the 3-dimensional chess. That's it. Yeah. 3-dimensional chess. Original Star Trek.
So if there's something, we did hypothesize that there could be some kind of a go around. There's still a lot of unanswered questions.
Oh, there's so many unanswered questions, isn't there? I mean, and we talked about this again. The final episode of Paranormal Horizons has a lot. Those last 15 minutes where we're just sitting at the table discussing has a lot, because we looked at that data, man. We looked at that data repeatedly, and we looked at the way that it came to us and the sequence in which it all came. And it was just like something was trying to form a base of communication. That's literally what it was. And what's funny is now, even after that's ended, the best part's still to come. Most people haven't even seen the clip yet because it's been wiped. We previewed it for you guys, a few months ago, and I went back and scrubbed it because, can't let that out just yet. But what happened was simple little flashes of light or lights we couldn't see. All these things added up to, okay, well, maybe you should try this, and maybe you should try this and see if you get a response with this. And we did. And then we got the ultimate response with something that I just, again, can't really explain to this point. And we speculated, it's like, well, why would they do that? And I said, well, maybe it's because we're not out there trying to hijack their crafts, like, they're driving through the bad part of town,
Right. Because there's also this, for anybody who might not understand that comment, there's a bunch of claims that go around speaking about psionics and how people are using psionics and by psionics, I mean psychic abilities or some kind of, consciousness manipulation to take control of these UFOs, UAPs.
Yeah.
They're like weaponizing consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what humans do. Circle back to earlier.
Yeah. See how this all comes together.
And they're looking for other people who are just trying to
think outside the box.
Yeah. To think outside the box and maybe say, here, we'll throw you a bone. Let's see what this does.
Yeah. Oh, look, they got it. And they're not trying to shoot us down. Maybe we should have some kind of discourse here. I mean, what's that? But there's more people. There's not just us. I mean, my God, we proved that. There's so many people. And everybody's got a story to tell. And it's almost like that's what it's about. They want their story told. Whatever this phenomena is, I say they, but whatever this phenomena is, a part of it seems to want its story told. And its story's been told for thousands and thousands of years, just in different ways. Ashley's right. This isn't new. It's just a new way of looking at it.
Jordan says, if we use our own psyche to manipulate UAPs, are we so disconnected from them?
No, that's the point. We couldn't be. There's some kind of interface. And what are the chances of an alien, as we said, the truest form of alien, that it came from somewhere else, that it's, not from here? How can we interface with that? We shouldn't be able to. I mean, that's a scientific anomaly right there.
It's a to be continued.
Well, I mean, think about it. It's for real. There's just too many similarities between us and some of these accounts of these beings.
There's evidence of this. I mean, if you really dive into it, there's evidence of the contact phenomena with either psychic endeavor or a physical reaching out, so to speak, for eons. But Ashley, one of the ones that you would probably be more familiar with.
Guys, we still have a full house.
We're going a little over here for a minute.
We still have a full house, guys. Please hit that like button. There.
We're going to go over for a minute here, but with John Keel and his experiments.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was, in a sense, conducting and came to the conclusion that it didn't matter on what kind of tests he was conducting, but it was just the intent behind the test. Have you had any luck that you can talk about or willing to talk about currently with going out and making contact, so to speak?
I have not yet. That is in the books for this year. Every instance of what I would consider contact has been not by choice. I think it had to convince me for a while. It had to woo me a little bit, right?
Yeah.
To kind of get me, not necessarily sold, because I definitely want to try to, I suppose, induce something a little more intimate. I'm ready to take our relationship to the next step now. We're getting pretty serious. So, I have not had that experience, but what I'll say is, I definitely agree with Keel in regard to the intent. We've certainly gone to places and, with certain things in mind, and then those certain things certainly happen, right? Nothing quite full on, but it does. And I think that that's kind of the part that sucks about this whole thing. It's just, I don't think the answers are going to come in data. Not that we should stop looking for data. I don't think it's going to come scientifically. I think the answers, unfortunately, come from within, and I think that this is a gravely personal experience, and just on an individual level, we kind of find those. But as a collective, I don't know, maybe collectives in small senses, but as the entire world, probably not.
Right. And that, that's the reason that this group exists, just for that. I mean, how many groups do you know that we can actually sit around and discuss these things, and everybody can put whatever they want on the table and no one's going to be like smacking their hands? I mean, that's a rare thing. It really is
unheard of. Yeah.
It really is. And we take it for granted. It's like, oh, welcome to our little group. But no, it's really it's just a good thing. And as I started the show with, there's going to have to be a lot of hand holding. So just get used to the person who's sitting beside you, get to know them. Doesn't matter who they are. You're going to need their help at some point, probably, to get through this, whether that be just, running some ideas by them, or picking a brain, things like that. I think it's important. I really do. I think it's important that we continue these discourse, these talks, and no, you don't have to tell everything. That's not the point. I know there are people who want every single drop of information. No, it's good enough to do what we just did a little bit ago. How many of you guys had an
Ready to
experience?
say that,
yes,
I feel like in some cases we're almost asking too much.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's kind of a way for the phenomena to go, hey, hold on a second. You're not in the driver's seat here when nothing happens. I had an experience one time where I got a message. I don't know how to explain it. It sounds crazy and it's
a feeling
embarrassing
or a message. I mean, just a feeling or a message.
It was a message.
Message.
I had, and it was talking about, I was watching something by some big researcher, and I'm not going to name and shame. That's not what we're here for. And while I'm watching it, they're in the middle of trying to conduct an experiment and make contact. And I get this message, and the message is, we don't like so-and-so. They don't deserve it, is what they said. And it was weird. I'm like, I don't know why you're telling me this. You need to go tell them, obviously, right? But
don't put me in the middle of your gang war. I don't want to part of that.
What's going on here? The drama. But I think that, the message wasn't necessarily to be taken literally. It was just more about the fact that it was trying to educate me on kind of how this works. And like I said, how it works is it ain't up to us.
No, it's not. And you go to school. That was the whole point with, some of the things that I've experienced they're just, that's the point of the whole thing. It's a lesson, and it's a lesson to yourself. It's, if you question it, you might get the answers, and it's not going to be what you think it is sometimes. And you just got to learn to deal with that. Right, Joe?
Yeah. So we got a question here for Dave. Has Dave ever caught anything that shouldn't be there in all of the pictures that he takes?
There's kind of two ways I approach that. With the telescopes, because of the focal length, like I have two scopes. Like one has a focal length of, and this may mean nothing to anyone, but 2,350 millimeters. I have another one that's 600 millimeters, and it goes between 277 and 600. The reason I bring that up is when you get that kind of focal length, the wider the more narrow the focal length, the deeper out in space you're really seeing. So an object, like say a UAP, is most likely not going to show up. Now, like it would, if it were more terrestrial, it would probably appear as a blur, and that's even going to be the same for the wider focal length at the 600 millimeter length. So that makes it hard to see. So I've not really caught anything in my photos specifically, but what I will tell you, when I've been out in imaging, I've been out for, I can't tell you how many hours it's been out there. Ron and Joe kind of know. More hours than I can possibly count. Now I have seen things up in the sky, and we had a star party actually at Calhoun County Park. I think it was last year or the year before last. I can't recall now, but there was probably about 15, 20 of us at the star party, and we did see an object up in the sky. There was not aircraft, not satellite. None of us could explain what it was. It was definitely unexplainable. And this is, around 15 people that do this, and a couple were professionals, and that they saw this thing, and we're all just kind of like, "What is that?" We none of us were freaking out. We're just like, "Okay, that just happened." So there's been quite a few times, just from observing at night, we see things that are up there that just don't seem explainable.
Yeah. And for anybody who's got a question real quick, what Dave's talking about and what Dave takes pictures of, this is what Dave takes pictures of.
Yeah. So it would have to be, pretty far out there before Dave could actually image anything with that focal length. It's insane. But Dave was with us, and he did have a regular, you were using the iPhone that night, I believe. And you were shooting in a night mode, and you did catch stuff while we were out there conducting some of those experiments, in particularly the same spot where we showed the mock Jesus thermal that Joe Joe every now and again. but you did catch some stuff out there, and it was pretty remarkable because we didn't see that.
Yep, that wasn't visible to the naked eye. It was only visible on a long exposure.
Yeah, we didn't. We had thermals. We didn't catch any of that. So, that's one of the things that we have begun to implement. As far as it goes in the field again, is still photography, and you'll see a lot more of that this year.
I'll make this extremely quick, but I've had two very specific sightings in my life. One when I was probably 10, 11. My mom and a friend of hers, we saw an object. It was hovering above our house, pretty close enough you could see lights around it, multicolor lights. It was a round shape, and we followed this thing out to an area probably about 10 miles out of my house, out this country road. And we pulled up the side of the road, got a car, was watching this thing, and it just shot straight up and disappeared. And of course, me and my mom and her friend were obviously freaked out, especially as a child. And the other one was just a few years ago in an area called Davis, West Virginia, where we saw, my wife and I experienced this. We saw one object, kind of an orangish, reddish color, streak across the sky. And then right behind it, here comes another exact same trajectory. And that was my two big UAP experiences that just cannot explain.
Yeah.
So you have that as well, just visual observation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you can't discount visual observation. I know there's a lot of people, it's just anecdotal data. Well, guess what? Once you have a mountain of anecdotal data, you got data. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, data is data at that point.
Data is data, especially if it's repeating data, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you've got validating data, then you've got
once anecdotal data repeats itself multiple times, it's no longer anecdotal.
How many times did it repeat for us before we stopped saying it was coincidence? Like 6?
Yeah.
And then
6 or 7
12
times.
and yeah, it's just, but yeah, there's something there. It's something.
I get it.
Yeah, it's something. It really is, because you're like, that's what the thing is, Ashley. A lot of people think, you chase UFOs, so you believe this. You don't have to believe it. It's not about belief. Corbel figured that out. It's not about belief. It's about the data, and it's about looking at the patterns from the data and the actual, what this is and what it is not. I mean, that's why we run it by so many people. They're like, okay, this is a thermal signature, so I know it's not a lens flare, and those are things that you have to become familiar with. You got to become familiar with your equipment. You got to become familiar with that data that they're showing. This is the problem with what's about to happen, kids.
Yeah.
Because you're going to start seeing stuff, because the internet is all about them clicks, right? So you're going to start seeing fake images. You're going to start seeing rehashed stuff that's going to show up. It's probably going to look a lot better now, because of that wonderful AI enhancement. I mean, come on. If it can take a shadow and turn it into a Bigfoot, it can do anything, right?
Right.
You know what, fellas? I mean, it's like, really, like, I think everything you can perceive as real, whether it be a spirit, a UAP, someone says they experienced Sasquatch, whatever perception is of whatever you observe. I mean, all of those can be just as real as the other.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. There's no question here about that. And, we were talking about the whole perception thing, that's just another way to either there's an external source that's doing that, like what they were kind of saying, or that's part of you that's trying to protect you from this shock of seeing something that should not be there, something that doesn't fit your.
Yeah, our brains can overwrite physical memories.
That's right. Right.
I like to compare all of this. I'll be honest with you, and you're gonna laugh for a minute, but I like to compare it all to the McDonald's hot coffee woman. Because, well, I told you, it's silly, but hear me out.
Okay. Let's hear it.
A lot of people,
I get it.
They know about the woman that sued McDonald's for the hot coffee, and that's just frivolous and ridiculous, and it's funny to laugh at on the internet, right? We all sit and laugh about it. But when you actually sit with it and you sit with the facts, and you remember that this was a 70, 80-year-old woman who had burned so severe it melted her legs together, then it's not so funny, right? Then you remember, oh my gosh, this is a person that this happened to, and how horrific. Explaining your strange phenomena is very much like that. It sounds so ridiculous at first, but when you actually sit with these people and get to know them and get to hear their story in its entirety, it's not so crazy. So I think that remembering the people, it's something that I'm huge on. I can't preach that enough, that these were actual human beings this happened to, and we have to remember that.
No, you're 100% right. And you just do that up there about UFO McKenzie live North Carolina. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in those skies. South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. There's stuff in those skies. I can say that.
Yeah, you've recorded thermal and night vision off the coast there.
That's right.
So guys, tonight we covered a lot of ground. We looked at a lot of clips. We've talked about a lot that has come out just since last Thursday.
But there's a lot happening.
There is a lot happening.
And there's going to be a lot more.
And like I started this episode off saying, go back and rewatch some of this. It's going to take some time to digest some of these things, because there are some very strange things that is going on. Creepalacha, what's going on, man? Good to see you, brother.
Creepalacha. If you're not, you guys aren't following Creepalacha, go over there and do that. There's some really good stuff over there. I mean, some really good stuff.
There, again, a lot to digest. Go back, watch some of what ground has been covered tonight, and then sit and think, because this is just the beginning of the conversation.
Oh, it is.
This is literally the opening of the can of worms, and you guys that have been with us since day one, you know that this is a place where you can have that conversation.
Yeah.
You know that this is a place that we're not going to reject the ideas. We're going to look at them and we'll evaluate logically, and we'll proceed forward. And it's going to get weird.
Oh, it's going to get really weird.
It's only going to get weirder.
And we said that. We said this. We put this in. We said at the beginning of the year, it's going to be a very interesting year.
You did exactly say that stuff would pop from 217 to 34. You did predict that. I vividly remember it.
We did. No.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, guys, I've had one other curious thing to throw in there.
What?
With this releases that it's coming out, I'm curious if any of that, because we don't know. I'm curious if any of that will include SETI related files.
SETI actually made a statement that they felt threatened by
what?
SETI made a statement that they felt threatened by the documents being released, essentially, and it was really funny because Gary Nolan responded to him.
Oh God.
I screenshot it and sent it. It's back in the group chat that you guys can go look at it. SETI is not taking the news well.
Why would they not take the news well?
Money.
Oh. Find extraterrestrial intelligence. We're out of the job. Oh, okay. I understand. Because that's what the world runs on, kids.
Yeah.
It's not about discovery. I mean, if it was, we could have, met with our alien ancestors, years ago.
Hey, Kamikaze, send them over here too. Go ahead, feel free to drop them in the comments. That is totally cool with us. I'm gonna throw you an email up here, and if you don't care, shoot us some links to that so that we can take a look at them as well. And there's an email scrolling across the bottom. Anybody who has footage, if you want to send it over, we'd love to see it. We'd love to take a look. It's part of what we do here.
Go back and watch the In Focus episodes. You'll see how those work. We throw them up here for everybody to take a look at. We look at them in real time. We go in there a little closer and zoom in. And sometimes we find it's ordinary, and sometimes we find it is not ordinary at all.
Indeed.
So
what's ordinary nowadays?
I don't know. I'm really not sure about it, but I am sure that we'll probably be doing this again almost along these exact lines, just whenever this drops, because I got a feeling it's going to get really murky.
Heck, possibly next week, the way things are going.
Well, we've got World Contact Day.
There will be stuff to decipher and dig through as we go.
Oh yeah,
it's inevitable.
Yeah, little bits and pieces, because there's so much of this that we could just break down. I mean, look at the Greys, for example. We could break down and go right into that whole, the history basically that we know from this point, where it came from, and so forth and so on. But we are approaching World Contact Day, and that is also UFO Day. But World Contact Day, man, it might be something really. It may actually live up to its name soon.
Be interesting to see,
wouldn't it?
Ashley, thanks for jumping on here with us. I know it was really short notice, and but we'd love to have you back on here again sometime soon to continue this conversation some more, because I think this is just going to be a part one of this.
Oh, it's ongoing
kind of deep dive that we're doing here.
You called it a can of worms, and that can of worms is a pop top, and all you've done is flip that top up. You haven't even peeled it back, right? So next we just need to slowly peel it back and take in the aroma. So
she's right. She's right about that. 100%.
But there's a lot. Yeah, I'll definitely come back. Can I plug real quick? Can I plug something?
Of course you can.
Great. Well, not this weekend, the weekend after, I hope to see some of the audience at the Loveland Frogman Festival coming up on March 7th at the Oasis Conference Center. I'll be there, of course. Your MC, I am every year. I'll be speaking as well. But more importantly, it'll be the debut of my second book. I've written 2 books now in my life. That's insane.
You know what you should do? You should come on the show, right, with your camera, and you should have a stack of them behind you.
That's a great idea. Yeah,
maybe I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's got to work, right? There's no reason why you would.
As Shermer, I don't know.
I'll just have piles and piles of my own 2 books behind me, and you can buy any one you want.
Well, did you notice he had? You noticed he had his first book there too, right?
I couldn't tell. He had so many of the other one that people aren't buying, I guess.
Yeah. The other one was sitting there. It was just one. It was right in the middle of that whole batch. So yeah, you're right. Well, that's how you do it.
If it doesn't completely sell out, because so far I've never walked away from an event with any books left. So I'll put them on camera with me.
There you go.
But yeah, come check that out. It's all about Ohio. It's your Strange Guide to Ohio is the title. And some of you are probably close to that area. You might know a little bit about what goes on here, but find out the places that you can go to get weird in Ohio.
I heard you guys can get abducted pretty good over there too, because I saw that the odds were pretty good between Ohio and West Virginia. So that was we're working together. We're working together on that.
Yeah, pretty decent. I found a new place to explore, which is interesting for me because there's not usually a lot of new places to explore. But if you guys have not heard, take your time. Go Google Peach Mountain. Find out all about it. Super interesting stuff if you like, Area 51 and all that. It's cousin. So right here in Ohio. Had no clue.
Sweet.
Well, be careful.
Anyway, that's my plug. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. I'll sign the book for you or whatever. I'll take a picture with me and all the books,
That's the one we want right there.
Popular now.
We'll put it up here. Yeah, we'll put it up here.
There you go. So guys, go hang out with Ashley here in a couple weeks at Frogman Festival in Loveland, Ohio. That show always seems to be an absolute blast.
They have a lot of fun there from what I've seen.
Go check it out. Dave, Ron, as always, it has been a weird week, and
it's been a weird week, but
it's only going to get stranger, I have a feeling. But everybody that has donated tonight, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. You all go above and beyond to keep everything moving and keep gas in the tanks, keep lights on in the studios, and you're going to be starting to see some of the fruit of all of that here really, 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 really soon. And there's a lot more to come. There is a lot more to come.
Let's just give them a little tune on the way out. A little delay, maybe. You like delay, right, Joe?
Oh yeah.
You're practicing that one.
And remember, you guys can always find us here Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We go live, and this show is driven by you.
As you saw tonight.
It is we've developed a fantastic community here, and we cannot wait.
Let's grow it. Let's grow it.
To continue what we're doing and continue conducting research with all of you. So remember, there's documents coming, and they're probably going to be rehashed. Don't get too terribly excited, but keep looking up. Stay wild and weird. If I can find the end button. Stay wild and weird.